shows.
Okay.
Got
Okay, let me get the links real quick.
Well, I'm shoving toast in my mouth over here.
While you're what? Shoving toast.
We'll do it live.
George, do you want to put it on Facebook, and I'm going to put it on the front page?
All right.
Yep, there I am with my toast in my face.
Another. It sounds like an insult. You toast face.
And the hair is like all in your face too. I don't know how you stand the stuff like it.
So I can do my emo Peter impression.
Yes.
So are you excited about the wedding?
Yes, we're
What's the date again?
September 15th this year.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I got my dress picked out just a couple weeks ago, so that was really exciting.
Did you actually go to the Say Yes to the Dress place? That's like actually the place down. Isn't there one in Georgia?
I looked at that, but like you have to like do a profile and everything, and I'm like, I'm not dramatic enough for this. They're not gonna get shit out of me. I'll just be like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. And I would be like the most boring television personality.
And no, you could have had George as one of your friends. And this is my friend George, who helped me pick out the wedding dress.
Oh my god.
All right,
Really
JR, I'm going to lead with you about the Red Goblin, all right?
Whoa. Oh, we were going to talk about Disney and Fox first.
No, Disney Fox needs to lead this, dude. That's the biggest news of it.
I disagree. I think Slot leaving is probably, or
Yeah, it's a Spider-Man show, not a Fox
maybe
show.
not leaving. Yeah.
I want to lead with Red Goblin, and Fox will be third.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Coming down 3-2. Hey, Crawl Spacers and YouTubers watching live as we record this. Let's introduce the panel. We've got JR. What's going on, sir? You ready for some spider news?
Oh, absolutely. I'd be happier if we had some Ditko news, but you know,
maybe
spider news.
We will with it before the show is over. What's going on, George?
I'm just glad we're not talking about symbiote crap anymore.
No, I don't think there's any symbiotes in this show. Going on, Mike.
Well, I'm ready for more stories about kids wearing Spider-Man T-shirts, Brad.
Going on, Zach.
Oh man, nothing has happened of note lately since we last did a news show. I don't think.
Your sarcasm is showing. All right. What's going on, Ashley?
I planned on saying something, but I forgot.
It's all good.
So I'm just gonna sit here and eat my toast. Hi.
She's eating toast in the afternoon. There's nothing wrong with that. You can eat toast 24/7. All right, and hello, YouTubers. How many people we got watching us at the moment? Let's see here. We've got 15, and they're adding, and they're coming in. So we're going to lead with a Goblin story. And who do we go to for Goblin stories?
How many
people we got watching? JR. There's a new colorful Goblin, Red Goblin. Tell me about this, JR.
All right.
Uh-oh, props.
All right. Things back to my box.
Audio listeners, he's holding up a box with the sign, things I don't give a beep about. Box 1 of 6.
Yeah, let's see here. What have I got in the box? Tom Hardy is Venom. No, I already did that one. Let's see here. How much would it cost for superheroes to commute? Oh, wait a minute. That's later in the show. Okay. Here we go from the box. The Red Goblin. Oh, my God. All right. Well, the way I understand it, it was a fairly decent trailer that Marvel put out to advertise, quote unquote, I don't know if it's Spider-Man's last battle. I don't know. I'll let George
going down swinging. I think
going down swinging.
Yeah, I'll let. I don't know whether it's supposed to be Slot's last story or not, but I figured George will handle that topic.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is supposed to be Spider-Man versus Green Goblin, the final battle. Oh, okay. Where have we heard this one before? The implication. I mean, like I said, the trailer was fairly cool, but then the last image is this Red Goblin figure, which is clearly supposed to be heralded back to Mephisto from One More Day. And the implication, the heavy implication, which Slot alluded to in a tweet, which was since deleted, and then which may have just been misinformation anyway.
It was just Slot trolling.
to get everybody to
It was
cream the jeans or whatever.
It was just trolling.
You know, the implication being that Norman, you know, is making a deal with Mephisto to bring the Goblin back, and he's going to turn into this idiotic Red Goblin thing, and Spider-Man will go down swinging. Whatever. The only hope I have, to be honest, after Goblin Nation, I don't have a hope. I just wish Slott would forget that Norman Osborn exists, because I don't trust him with the character. I really don't. I don't think he fundamentally understands the character. I mean, to be honest, I don't think a lot of writers do anyway. I mean, it always, to me, the first clue that you misunderstand Norman Osborn is that the Goblin formula drove him insane. That, to me, that is number one misunderstanding of Norman Osborn. But I'm not looking forward to this. I'm really not. I mean, I'm dreading it.
What do you think of the online chatter about how it's a deal with Mephisto? One more day might be undone.
One more day is not going to be undone until Joe Quesada, you know, is 6 feet under, and then George comes and takes a dump on his grave. I mean, there is.
Oh my gosh!
One more day.
What about the possibility of him remembering he was married? What about that?
No, not going to happen either. No, because then that would force them to deal with it. I mean, you know, it's like the whole thing when they had the kid. You know, when the kid disappeared, they didn't even refer to it after a while because they wanted everybody to forget about it. They're not going to. Peter's not going to remember being married. Mary Jane's not going to remember being married because they want everybody to forget about it. Which so far has worked brilliantly because we don't talk about it anymore.
10 years later, yeah.
But it talks about like the story's been in the making for 10 years, and it's like, well, wait a minute, the Goblin wasn't part of any story 10 years ago. There were no seeds planted for a Goblin story 10 years ago. Maybe they're referring to One More Day, but then again, I've never liked, like I said, I've always said this. I don't trust, you know, Slott's not fair with his mysteries. You know, he'll telegraph stuff that doesn't play out, or he'll say, look at this big reveal, but there's nothing leading up to it. You know, again, going back to the Green Goblin during Goblin Nation, you never got the impression that was Norman Osborn under the mask because he didn't talk like Norman Osborn. You know,
what do you think of Norman deal? I know you hated the Gathering of the Five, and you don't like Norman mixing with the mystic arts. So this is just not something I don't think you'd like.
Norman, see, again, you know, I hate to automatically dismiss any kind of story because a good writer can take an idea that you might think otherwise would be crap, and they could, you know, and they can make sense of it. So we've
been disappointed so many times.
But yeah, exactly. We know this writer, and Norman
is very careful. I can see Norman being arrogant enough to believe that he could win in a deal with the devil. I can believe in Norman doing something. I mean, Norman's brilliant, but Norman is also sloppy, egomaniacal. It makes him careless. He's, you know, if you were to say who's most dangerous, Lex Luthor or Norman Osborn, well, in the long run, definitely Lex Luthor, because Norman's is going to self-destruct. But for him to do this, for him to, you know, there'd have to be a hell of a lead up to it, something to make it make sense. And I don't trust Slott to make it make sense if that is where we're going.
Right.
But I'm sitting on pins and needles because I can just see Norman getting dragged down to hell or something at the end of this. And
yeah,
you know, I just kind of see it coming. The only positive is like they're saying all of Peter's family and friends are in danger. Maybe Norman remembers, you know, maybe
Ooh, you'd like that.
That I would like. Maybe if this Mephisto deal trigger. But then again, see, the thing is they're not going to be honest with that either, because see, Jonah, now that Peter told Jonah should now remember. That should be a triggering event, right? That holy cow,
yes.
You know, yeah. I did know it one time. Or are we just going to ignore that either and pretend that never happened?
Well, the thing is, there was artwork coming. There was upcoming artwork that was posted. I forget where. That kind of was showing like sneak peeks of like I think it was either 790.
Yeah, Peter and Mary Jane making out.
Yeah, and then she gets repelled by the spider, his head wearing the spider clothes out of the days. And then there's a thing with Norman Osborn, like he has like the wall where like all the little strings are attached to photos and everything. Like he's connecting the dots. So maybe that could happen with him figuring out. And maybe there could be a Mephisto deal because that's certainly possible. However, I have another theory.
I haven't seen any of that artwork though. I mean, where has that been?
Here, you guys talk. I'll look for it.
I think Okay. I do have another theory.
Bleeding
about
cool.
who the Red Goblin is. I do have another theory about who the Red Goblin is. And get ready to get triggered, George. It's Norman Osborn wearing a Carnage symbiote.
Oh!
The look of sheer disgust on his face. Is it all?
Here, let me pull George up on full screen. Okay, let me see the face again.
No.
Okay. Oh man. Norman Osborn with a Venom symbiote. I mean, a Carnage
symbiote. That's a potential thing I've seen.
I never even thought about that. That's funny.
I'm gonna make you pay for that Monday.
Oh, with our D&D sessions?
I'm gonna make you pay for that during D&D.
JR, there in the chat window is the preview art right there for you. Okay, here, I'll do it for the YouTubers too.
Oh, okay.
There you go, YouTubers. That's what Mike was talking about. And also, the YouTube is going nuts because of Ashley's cat. Let's take a look at Ashley's cat. Is that Bogey?
It's Bogey. He's been.
Someone said the cat is as big as a Labrador.
That would be George.
Yes,
George said that.
I'm on cat duty today since Jack's not here to distract him, so he's very clingy and needy and needs his mommy. So
I'm thinking if you get another cat, Felicia would be a good name.
It's the only feline visible from the International Space Station.
My friend actually has a cat who is a little bit bigger than Bogey here.
Hi, hello, goodbye. 11 says, I wish my beard could be as mighty as George's.
Goals. Beard
Okay,
goals.
wait, it's pet hour. Zach has his dog Benji, right?
Yep.
There's Benji and the clone pup. There we go. All right, any other thoughts on Red Goblin before we move on to another topic?
Okay, I gotta admit, I like the Norman in the lines. That's Norman. That is that frenzied maniacal genius at work. I really like that.
You're talking the preview art,
which made me think that he is connecting the dots, that he does know that Peter is Spider-Man, which
he should.
He should know.
Should. Yeah.
Never not known.
But yeah, I know. Why would you do that? Well, Tom Brevoort said it didn't make sense, so I guess that's what we go with.
All right. So the other spinning out of this, George Slott, potentially more evidence a little bit that ASM 800 is his last.
Well, that's what the solicits would have you believe, and that's what Rich Johnston would have you believe, and Clickbait Daily. But here's the thing, though. Slott hasn't come out and said it flatly that he's leaving. He has liked a ton of people on Twitter, and he himself has been kind of quiet on Twitter, which is oddly compelling. But he himself hasn't said anything about it. Marvel has confirmed it. Marvel has made references to, they've used the word last a lot. Last story. Dan Slott saved his best.
Here's the direct quote. Dan Slott has saved his most harrowing Spider-Man story for last, as he and Stuart Immonen kick off the Amazing Spider-Man story 10 years in the making.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Show of hands. Does anyone trust Marvel? Does anyone trust Dan Slott?
No.
Okay.
Just like I trust my wife with my check.
This is. I know there's a lot of sites out there that like to run clickbait on it, and they've been running clickbait. Ooh, is the marriage coming back with 800? Is that coming back? That's been the clickbait du jour thing now for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Don't get your hopes up. I say it all the time, and it's because I'm right. Don't get your hopes up.
Twice a day.
It's not twice a day. It's all the damn time. Shut your damn mouth.
There goes the resolution.
Resolution's broken.
Yep.
No, but it's seriously, don't get your hopes up. Just like I said, don't get your hopes up for Zdarsky and Spectacular. Don't get your hopes up on this. And everything, all of this feels like it's a rope-a-dope of some kind. I guess we'll know when the solicits eventually. And by the way, is there anyone who doesn't realize 800 is going to cost $10 again?
Action Comics 1000 is like $30. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I'd flip DC off.
That's
How much do you think
that
ASM 1000 will be? It's a small mortgage loan.
yeah. Yeah, pretty much. With all kinds of variant covers attached to
Yeah.
it too. It's like 20 or 50 or something like that. Like
Yeah.
or one for every year of Spider-Man. There you go.
So don't get your hopes up about any of this. Everyone's talking about, oh, it's Dan Slott's leaving. Dan Slott's leaving. Does anyone really? I mean, deep down, does your gut tell you he's leaving? Do you really feel like we're done with Dan Slott?
I think this is the best evidence we've had in 10 years.
Yeah, it is. It
yeah,
is.
but you know what? We've had other moments like this before.
Yeah, but the sales are going down.
The sales are going down, and here's the thing: if
That's the best evidence.
if that change is made, Dan Slott always said the only way they'll get me off of this book is to fire me. Does that mean he got fired?
Well, you do have to remember there is a new editor-in-chief coming in.
Well, and I'll say this: he's the only one that's been on the book for as long as he has. He's the only one that's had a lengthy run. I think that there's a segment of even Marvel editorial. It's like, okay, we've given him free reign, carte blanche to do whatever the bleep he wants. To middling results. I think the Clone Conspiracy failing and falling hard on its face.
And then the recent volume.
Yeah, I think that completely changed everybody's perception of Slott. It literally was you want to say, Mark, the beginning of if this is the end, the beginning of the end of Dan Slott on Spider-Man started with Clone Conspiracy, and it's been a long, painful sludge to this point.
Well, technically, it started even early before that, because after the Superior Spider-Man ended, that's technically when people start. Yeah, but.
Yeah, I understand that, but
I get what you're saying.
I think it goes further back than that. I mean, because really, how many people even give a shit about clones? I think it goes back to the start of all the goddamn Parker Industry stuff.
So my question to you, George,
yeah,
if you were to give a percentage, what's your percentage that you think 800 is Slott's last issue? What's your percentage?
What's your odds?
They're going out of their way to make it seem like that. So I'll say, like harder than they ever have before. But then you also have Dan Slott out there putting out that clickbaity troll stuff himself, like the tweet that got deleted that he knew would get saved and posted somewhere, and sure enough, it did. Ooh, try to get this site to remove that. They know too much. Well, whatever. They're trying hard to make us think that. So I'll say there's at least a 40% chance, but I still say we're stuck with Dan Slott like herpes.
I was actually going to go lower than George. I was going to say only 30%. I really feel like they're bait.
Yeah, and here's the other thing on that.
I think it's 50-50.
If they are going to shuffle Slott out, if finally at Marvel they woke up and realized, boy, he's been around a long time. Maybe if we got a new team in there, it'd help sales. And even if they have realized that, they need to get a new damn editor. Nick Lowe sucks. I'm sorry. They need to shuffle Lowe out of there and get him the hell out of there too, and bring in another editor who understands the character and is going to have a little bit tighter rein on that character.
Well, Nick Lowe, an editor, is kind of
I know, but there's been so much damage done to this character now. Real story damage, real character damage that's been done, and there's a lot of things that are going to have to be repaired and fixed. In the wake of any Dan Slott departure, they need somebody who has more attention than Lowe. Lowe Lowe is kind of hands off. We need somebody, huh?
Yeah, I'm just sorry. The way you guys were describing the lack of connectivity between like the Venom Inc. issues and the Amazing Spider-Man issues, it's like is there an editor or is that just a Spider-Man problem or is that a Marvel problem?
I think it's a Marvel problem.
It's a Marvel problem.
Most recent issue, the premiere issue of Marvel 2-in-1 with the Thing and Human Torch. And basically, Spider-Man gives the keys to the Baxter Building to the Thing, and Zdarsky wrote it, by the way. And and Spider-Man goes out of his way to allude to Ben Grimm that he's not Peter Parker. And I'm thinking to myself, well, he already knows you're Peter Parker. You revealed your identity to him. So, and the editor on that was Tom Brevoort. So, what's going on, man?
It's a Marvel problem. They're letting The inmates are running the asylum. There is no editorial oversight. There is nobody. There is no continuity cop the way there used to be a continuity cop in the 90s.
Like Mark Gruenwald. Yeah.
Right. There is none of that at Marvel. And that started with Quesada and Jameis and has extended through got worse under Alonso. And now, I think Cebulski has got a mountain to climb. Not to mention the bad publicity that he brought on himself.
You know, we didn't even have that. We didn't even have that as a topic.
We didn't. But here's the thing: the only people that are making that a topic is CBR. Is CBR and Rich Johnson, and they only do it to drive traffic. Literally, nobody else is bitching about this. I've lost track of how many actual like Asian people I've seen on Facebook who are talking about it. Like, we don't give a fuck.
It was on Hollywood Reporter like after he was announced. I mean, it hasn't continually been.
No one cares except for the people that are trying to use it to drive internet traffic. That's it. No one else cares.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I'll ask y'all a question.
Yeah.
Y'all remember Beanie Babies, right?
Yeah.
So, remember, I don't know if y'all remember, but a couple of years into the craze, they had a big thing about how they're making their last Beanie Baby, and it was actually called The End. It was going to be, no more Beanie Babies after this. This is putting the cap on it. And so there was all this hype, and it got drummed up so much, and everyone was reporting on about how this is the last one, and it was going to be super exclusive, and there's so much attention on it. And
they're still making
media ploy. Yeah. It was all just marketing. So
another example is how many farewell tours has Cher had? Early concerts.
How many films get stuck in the Disney vault?
Yeah. Here's my theory, which my odds are higher than George and JR. I think you please Slott and you please the readers by giving Slott a satellite book.
No.
He doesn't. No. I don't think you please Slott that way at all. I don't think Slott's going to be happy with anything.
I'm not happy with that.
Yeah, and well, I mean, dude, come on. We just spent an hour talking about how shitty this current arc is.
I mean, he doesn't think it's shitty,
and I don't mean badly written. I mean shit.
Slott doesn't. I don't think Slott intentionally turns in bad work.
Well, I'm not going to say bad.
Well, that's not what we're accusing him of.
Yeah, I was about
to say. Here's the thing. After 10 years, there comes a point where even somebody kind of probably eventually realizes, you know what, I'm kind of burned out on this thing.
He won't. I don't think he'd admit that.
Well, he probably wouldn't admit it, but he could
not
be
publicly.
Yeah,
not publicly. Yeah,
he wouldn't admit that kind of thing. But
I think he'd like a once a month satellite book with Spider-Man.
But all you have to look is the quality. All you have to look at is the quality. I mean, if you look at even by his standard right now, the dip in quality of the current books at the moment here, because he's going back to the same kind of tropes that he's used before and everything else. And then also, if you look at what happened with the, over at Silver Surfer, which got canceled and no one made a big stink about that because he was constantly delayed on that thing. And so it's just, it's getting to, so I'm kind of thinking that maybe there is a 50-50 chance he could be going after 800 or whatever it is, because
I'll be honest with you. After they took Bendis, I would not be surprised if DC wouldn't try to lure Slott back to like a Batman title.
They have tried. I remember him talking about it.
Yeah. Well, wait. Take that with a grain of salt. I'm sorry.
You're right.
I just don't find him trustworthy. I'm sorry. I really don't.
DC's not going to relinquish Batman to Slott when Tom Kane's on there. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
My point is that there is a huge segment of the fandom, of Spider-Man fandom, that it wants to see something different. That's why they put all their hopes into Zdarsky.
Yeah,
that's why they put all their hopes with anything and they're looking for something, because Spider-Man has not felt like Spider-Man. He's felt like Spider-Chump for the last decade.
Spider Loogie, as Ashley says.
Yeah, I mean, it's time. It's been time for 3 years.
Yeah.
Slott, it's been time for longer than that, man.
Well,
whenever Superior,
it's been time for way longer than that.
But think about this for a second. It's Dan Slott's of the 100th issues. Dan Slott's going to have written ASM 600, ASM 700, and now ASM 800. Three of the 8 100th anniversary issues Dan Slott has written. He has written more issues of Amazing Spider-Man than any other single writer in Spider-Man's history. On Amazing Spider-Man.
On Amazing, yeah, I was going to say, because Bendis wins.
Well, yeah. But...
All right, let's move on to another topic. Zach, you've got this one. Disney bought Fox. Disney buys everything.
Well, not... Okay. Yes and no. Disney has acquired... or has announced an acquisition of 21st Century Fox, which is the movie side of Fox.
Movie and TV production.
Yeah, movie and TV production. So they don't, here's what they, I'll go through what they don't own first. They don't own Fox News, Fox Business, Fox FS1 and 2, which is their 2 sports channels, and Fox Broadcast Network. So those are the 5 items that Disney does not own from News Corp, aka Fox. What Disney does own is all the regional sports channels, all of the smaller studios that are within the Fox banner, Fox 21st Century Fox. So that means they now have to keep it into comic perspective. They've got Star Wars now completely, because that was always up in the air. The first Star Wars movie was still partially owned by Fox distribution rights were. So they have Fox. And of course, the big thing is the X-Men and Fantastic Four. To bring it to Spider-Man for a second, I don't think that this would have even been done if there hadn't have been a Disney-Sony deal. I think that this probably started, and I'm doing a little speculating here, but my best guess is this actually started with Disney coming to Fox saying, how can we get the Fantastic Four rights? Can we make a deal? Can we do something along the lines of what we did with Sony? Would you be interested? And a lot of people were surprised because it seemed like the Murdochs have always been buyers. They're not usually sellers. So why this kind of rocked the investment world was because this actually was being done. I think it's a win-win for fans. I think it's a win-win for the comic side of things because I think the Fantastic Four will come back. I think from a Spider-Man perspective, it's only a matter of time before they actually get the full rights. The amount of leverage that's Disney has now to Sony is astronomical. After this initial deal is done, I would not be surprised if Disney doesn't sit there and back the money up and say, look, you guys are in trouble. You need liquidity. Let's get you some liquidity. This being a stock...
Saying that to Sony?
Yeah. I think that... And I think I mentioned that a couple of months back where I thought that Columbia and TriStar would be bought by Disney. That still may happen. I don't know. Here's the big thing and the big hurdle. This is a horizontal transaction. This is not a vertical transaction. Some people are trying to compare it to Time Warner and AT&T. That's different. There's a whole lot of things that are being added to AT&T's portfolio that didn't previously exist before. With this one being a horizontal transaction, we don't know what the regulatory nature is going to be. This is going to be a 12 to 18 month process. I think by the end of 2018, we'll know more. I think that it's got to get through the shareholders first. I don't see Fox's shareholders being upset becoming suddenly Disney shareholders. Okay.
Not with the kind of money Disney's putting up. If you're a Fox shareholder, you're probably going to be pretty happy.
Yeah. Now, existing Disney shareholders, they may be a little resistant. There's a lot of overlap, so there may be some mass layoffs. Disney has already shown that it's willing to do layoffs.
Fox has already told their folks there were going to be layoffs.
Yeah. So I mean, there's been a lot of stuff this was rumored back in November. This has been dreamed about by every clickbait website that exists. Unfortunately, I think that those clickbait websites see this as legitimizing themselves when really they're not.
And here's something that just occurred to me. We often complain about how we don't like extra heroes in our Spider-Man.
Right.
Do you like extra heroes in your Avengers? Do you like extra? All the mixing of the toys in the toy box. Do you like?
Oh, I don't think I've seen anybody yet that's not excited about Avengers: Infinity War.
Yeah, here's the thing though. With if because we got to remember though, with all the original cast of the Avengers, like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, and all those Chris Evans, their contracts are going to be up after Avengers 4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no hint that they could be renewed. And so this would be a way for Marvel Studios to get like, we'll replace like here have all the original Avengers retire, essentially go their separate ways after Infinity War or Infinity War Part 2 or whatever, and then you bring the Fantastic Four in, and kind of like as the new blood kind of thing.
Well, remember, it makes sense because remember, not too long ago, Feige was like, "We've got the next 20 movies planned."
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
That makes you wonder. That makes you wonder. You know what? How strongly they felt they were going to get the FF and the X-Men back.
Right.
How do you introduce the FF? And the
sure don't do it with Tony Stark. We need to move the hell on from doing it that way.
Well, yeah, you could just have it be like you can just do it almost like normally. Like you can even tie it into like, the Chitauri invasion. Like, that just opened up the new space race or something. And
we need to get away from the Chitauri.
I know, but you got to think
it back now. We bring some up in here.
So one theory I saw online, I may have talked about with you. Someone said the Fantastic Four launched their rocket in the 1960s and just came back modern.
That's
You hate that?
It's be a little bit too Captain America thing. Mike, the thing is, what really kind of throws a monkey wrench in this whole thing is how they're going to.
Real quick, Dark Mark on chat just goes, Reed Richards is Stark's intern. Dark Mark,
I will slap a bitch.
Stark just recognizes and decides to give him a leg up.
Yes, yeah.
Honestly,
or they were college buddies or something. But yeah, the X-Men trying to incorporate X-Men into Marvel Studios, that's going to be a challenge because especially since Fox before this thing, I think they were kind of semi coming back with some of the X-Men films, especially if you look at like Deadpool and Logan.
The individual stuff, but the team stuff was kind of lukewarm.
What if Ant-Man discovers the FF in the microverse?
I know, but going back to this,
do we do an origin or the FF been around forever?
No, the FF.
What I was going to say is, what if they try I guess this would be something really different if they decide, like we were saying, Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., their contracts are coming up soon. So what if we have Fantastic Four with kind of the new Avengers generation? So they're
let's just bring them in and have them be their own damn thing in the same universe, and then just have them do their own stuff. We don't have to call back to the rest of the Marvel universe. We're going to know it's part of the Marvel universe. Let's just have them do their own shit.
The only thing I think about
what you are.
No, I was just going to say though, it's funny. Spencer and I've had these conversations. I've always thought that they should do with the Fantastic Four what they did with Spider-Man. The Fantastic Four should guest star in somebody else's movie. George, the FF movies have loser stink on them. That's the problem.
That's true.
And the Spider-Man, and until here's after Amazing Spider-Man 2, who wanted to see another Spider-Man movie? Nobody wanted to see another Spider-Man movie. If they had come up, even if Marvel had said, "Hey, here's Spider-Man," okay, yeah, we might have been interested in it, but by having Tom Holland show up in Civil War and doing his little bit, and then plugging him at the very end, Spider-Man will return. Everybody's now ready for a Spider-Man movie. And then that led into Homecoming.
So we just make Reed Richards Tony Stark's bitch too?
No, we don't do that. I'm sure they can think of another angle, but I don't know that we need an FF origin story. I think like the FF should either have already been there or something or other. But they can do it. These people they can do it. But that's kind of my theory.
Okay. That's how you introduce the FF. How do you introduce mutants?
That's a good question.
That's my big question. That's the weird thing. The only possible thing I can think of is maybe mutants have always been around, but they only started being noticing until now. Because there's a way you got to think of it.
You can weave that narrative in there, and it's what they tried to do with Inhumans, and they failed.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Well, hang on now. If you think about it, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is how old now?
10
10 years.
Oh, yeah. 08 was Iron Man.
This is being the first movie.
By the time the X-Men movies start, or Disney's in a position to make X-Men movies, you can already have the first mutants hitting puberty in that universe.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
So
that's fair.
That's fairly easy to do.
That's fair.
Although,
yeah,
like I mean, you have Xavier and Magneto kind of operating covertly, not out in the open.
I want to see Ryan. I want to see Ryan Reynolds in this universe. I think that'd be awesome.
Here's the question I have about the X-Men. Though, do we really? And I'm not a big X-Men fan anyway. But do people really want to see the X-Men in the Marvel universe, or do they want to see Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen in the Marvel universe?
Oh, those guys are gone. Those guys.
Well, I know they're gone. But I mean, they talk about who's going to play Wolverine in the MCU, and I'm thinking, well. Isn't what's cool about Wolverine being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Hugh Jackman as Wolverine being in the Marvel? I mean, do we want to see? I mean, is there really any appetite to see?
Well, I want to see a Wolverine in a yellow suit, a more classic Wolverine. But Hugh Jackman is a perfect
Wolverine. And they might go with like X-23 or something to stick with.
Well, they could. I mean, I'm trying to think how they can incorporate all the previous, like the First Class movies somehow into this thing.
There's no doubt in my mind within the next 5 to 10 years, there's going to be an Avengers versus X-Men movie. There's no doubt in my mind. It's coming.
Well,
it's coming.
The other question is, but here's the other thing we haven't. There's the other question I have that we have to bring up about this. Like, as I'm not sure, maybe could be wrong about this, but with this acquisition by Disney for the Fox TV and film things, there's been talk also about would this be considered? Is this considered potential monopoly building? Could there be antitrust?
No, not for IP shit. No.
Not for IP stuff. Okay, because there was some.
No,
I'm going to say this. I completely think that there is a backdoor deal that they will sell the rights to those to those two particular franchises. There's a $2.5 billion clause where Disney has to give them $2.5 billion if this deal falls through. Anytime you have a stock for stock transaction, you have to have that built in. I've been with a company that did a stock for stock transaction. It went through pretty quickly, but it took about a year. And so, yes, I know there's some people that are thinking that in terms of the assets that they acquired, the Fox, the amount of TV deals that they have, because there's deals within deals. All those regional sports networks have deals with particular teams and stuff like that. So that's something that's got to be sorted out. So this is a huge web to use.
There's nice. Speaking of webs. Mike, you got this next one. Miles Morales has a new name, or wants a new name?
Sort of. In order to explain what's going on, because this is
Spider-Man 2.5.
Spider-Man 2, yes. Which unfortunately I've read.
That was George literally just sucked the oxygen out.
I was about to say, was that a genuine yawn or was that an editorial yawn?
It's me being tired, and it's like, oh, we're talking about Miles. Who cares now?
Yeah.
I like Miles.
So the way this whole. So for those who haven't been keeping up with this, Spider-Man 2 is the sequel to Spider-Man thing. I mean, and like most sequels, except for Empire Strikes Back, this one is not very good.
It's not.
It's been dragging on and stuff. So what happened at the end?
Real quick, Mike, spoil it for George. What does happen to a certain universe? Tell George. Break this news, my friend here.
George,
break it.
Get ready to get triggered again, because the Ultimate Universe is back.
As drawn by Mark Bagley at the end.
Let me show you my shocked face.
Yes. Yeah.
Mark Bagley brings and Bendis brought
basically
back.
Basically, since Bendis is leaving Marvel, he figured, why not just bring the Ultimate Universe back and have like a nice little send off there.
So Spider-Woman and the Spider-Man clone are on the Avengers with Ironheart.
Riri Williams, Ironheart's there's an Ultimate Ironheart there now. But anyway, going back to the main topic of this thing. The premise of this whole thing has been building up that Miles is kind of feeling like, well, you know, after Peter basically kind of told him, like, you know, I should never have encouraged you to be Spider-Man and everything. But then he apologizes for that. But then Miles is thinking, you know what? Yeah, why am I kind of being Spider-Man? I should try to be my own person and maybe have my own kind of
name,
you know, thing. But of course, that gets ruined if you've actually been reading the regular Spider-Man comic series, because he's still Spider-Man. Oh, and he has a new cool power now where he shoots like, you know,
it's
venom
like
blast webbing or something.
Yeah, it's blast.
Yeah. Oh, that is cool.
Exactly.
So the question is, what should Miles's name be? If you look on, I saw some packaging, and they're renaming Spider-Gwen and Miles to Arachnakid, which is a horrible name for Miles.
No.
And for Gwen, it's Spider-Ghost. So what would be a good name for Miles or Spider-Gwen's perfect?
Who gives a shit?
But I knew that I figured they're gonna go. They'll go with Arachnakid or something, or Arachnakid, because that's how they were that's how they're packaging it on the toys. I think Brad's right about
Bleeding Cool wants to call them Spidey.
Oh yeah, with the little dollar sign.
Yeah, with the dollar sign. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that is the absolute worst freaking name I've ever bleeping. Shut the F up.
Arachnakid. Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is, when Ben, I don't think this, we've been talking about this. If Bendis leaving, you know, Marvel is going to try to do something different with Miles. Like they're going to try to, maybe they'll rename his book, because right now the sales on this just a regular Spider-Man book with Miles in it are not very good. So they're just probably like, I'm expecting out of this thing, after Bendis goes, we're going to get another relaunch with Miles Morales thing, but he's going to have a brand new, you know, name, and they'll probably put Arachnakid on there, or Arachnakid or whatever it is.
Arachnid. How about just Arachnid? How about that? That's not just get rid of the kid.
They could, yeah. They could do that.
Arachnakid or something. Too is they're talking about it in the chat about, we have the upcoming animated movie coming out, and it looks like they might be changing some of the names for that, because a lot of times for movie adaptations, they will go and change the name, because you can't have the same name, because that gets too confusing for the audiences. It's like what they did with the Lord of the Rings animated version and changed.
I'm going to read some of the chat rooms on YouTube's suggestions. Spider Ghost in a Shell, Ghost Spider, Recluse, Leftover Ritz, Dead Spider, Redundant Boy, Shadow Spider, Spider By, Smiles, Wolf Spider. Ooh, Wolf Spider's not bad. Orb Weaver. Well, that was fun while it lasted, boy. Okay. That's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Why would they change Spider-Gwen to Spider-Ghost?
Because of an adaptation on a animated show. That's why.
Because they don't. Because they already have a Spider-Woman.
Because she's
already.
Jesus Christ! Think of how much time we're talking about all of this crap that's not even Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man.
All of this related, so convoluted and off the damn target.
You need a 2018 hug.
He needs a good stiff drink is what he needs.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Storyline that kills off a lot of extraneous spider characters is what I need.
Brad, you're being correct.
Well, we're supposed to have that with Spider-Verse, and look what happened there.
So George didn't care for the Miles topic. Let's talk about the PS4 video game with the white spider suit.
Oh, God.
Hey, there's a good reason.
Jump on this and spin.
I want the white spider suit. I need the white spider suit.
Okay. You go, Ashley.
I think the white's kind of cool too. Oh, go ahead, Ashley. Tell me, there's a new Spider-Man PS4 trailer that came out, which you see a lot of.
What I wanted to say at the beginning of this video.
Okay.
Brad, I can't believe you made me watch a 3-minute video narrated by Dan Slott. I know. Forward to this game so much, and you made me watch a video about it that opened with Spider-Man is my favorite character of all time. No, he's not. Stop lying. Don't look in that camera and lie. You're a bad liar.
Oh.
So that was a great way to start, because I'm really excited about the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man game. I'm really excited about the white spider. Suck it. I need it. My orientation is terrible in video games.
Don't apologize for things you like. Hell yeah! If you like it,
I'm on the screen, and I'll be off and who knows where, beating up a wall when I think I'm fighting the boss. You don't understand that kind
Suck
of
it, George.
I'm Zach Joyner, and I approve her message.
Whoa, so because you suck at video games, the costume has to look like shit?
It's for the greater good. You've never had to watch me play video games, George. You don't understand the good.
I play video games with you, though.
You have a small screen. Just hold the chat.
Okay.
For fuck's sake,
real quick. The chat says, "I approve Ashley. Ashley laying a beat down on George. Savage Ashley. Go, Ashley, go." Where did Slot touch you? Civil War, the crawl space edition. Chat, on YouTube, you're awesome. That's funny.
Anyway,
we all know who the Iron Man in this situation is.
So
anyways, getting to the actual video with that distasteful opening, we get some insight from the team at Insomniac and other less important parties about the motivation, some of the creative design going to the game. I think, obviously, from the last actual trailer, we saw it's going to focus a lot on Mr. Negative, and he's going to be the main baddie. And as they talk about in the video, how they're really going for a more personal look into that, and kind of telling a more, not just the story of Negative Man, but of Martin Lee as well, and who he was.
Negative Man. You mean Mr. Negative? Negative Man.
Negative Man.
Tell us again how the
negative.
okay.
So, who did it last month with how they said Mr. Negative? Who said that?
That was George.
George, let me hear you say that, Mr. Negative.
Mr. Negative.
Yeah, here, let me put you on full screen. Let me see it.
I just did it.
You're on full screen now. Go ahead.
Mr. Negative.
Okay, go ahead, Ashley.
Oh yeah, they have him set up to be kind of this philanthropist, and he runs a bunch of, I guess, nursing homes and kind of homes for people in need, and he's just this great giver. Imagine Wilson Fisk's,
you mean
the image
the
he
mayor?
presents of himself without the everything behind the scenes. Like, imagine Wilson Fisk as he presents himself to the public and actually measuring up to that image, and that's kind of what they're going for with Martin Lee here.
Mm-hmm.
Negative Man. I'm still over that. But
anybody else excited for the game?
No, but I do like. For one, I know that Spencer's going to be wanting it and playing it next year, probably, assuming he stays out of trouble, which is never a given.
Get your house in order, Fettinger. I was about to say that will never happen. I was about to say
Bernardo said Mary Jane will be playable. That must have ticked off.
Yes,
Slot.
he did.
I do like this one image though with the banners that say "Re-elect Osborne for mayor,
Yeah.
keeping your city safe."
Yeah.
But why would you have Mr. Negative be the main villain? That's
Because Slot is helping write the story.
Yeah.
I imagine Clash will be in there too.
I don't
Oh,
like
gosh.
And Alpha.
I have a lot of faith in Insomniac as a game developer.
Hey Ashley, Clash has a white costume. At least you'll be able to see him, so you can try to hit him.
Well, let's do it.
I regret waking up today.
Wow. Maybe we should start with news so George wasn't so ticked after an hour and a half of symbiotes.
Oh god.
Oh,
well,
man.
that's a plus. There's probably no symbiotes in this game.
Web Century says,
can
I've
hope.
got the game pre-ordered, but the first costume I unlock, I'm changing to it, even if it's the Amazing Bagman.
Isn't it a bombastic Bagman?
Oh,
Yeah, it's
that's
bombastic
funny.
Batman. I think it is. What it is.
Bombastic Batman. All right,
It looks like it's
let's
gonna be
see.
a fun game, so I'm excited for it.
Ashley, you also have this next topic. There was a Spider-Verse movie trailer
Okay.
that was released. Let's talk about that, Ashley.
So that came out recently. We knew well ahead of time that they're going to be doing this animated Spider-Man project, and it looks like, we speculated, and it might have been confirmed, that it was going to feature Miles Morales as the titular character. But it looks like it's going to branch out and encompass the entire Spider-Verse as well. So it's funny that we were talking about Ghost Spider earlier, because in that opening shot where we have you have Miles doing the big jump off of the building, all I could think is like, this looks like a ripoff of Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah, a little bit.
I was getting Ghost in the Shell vibes, just doing that backward flip off the building. But we see it's it looks like it's predominantly going to focus on Miles. And we see him later, though, at a train station, and he's kind of talking to, presumably, I guess, Peter, that, so there's more than one of, there's more than one of us? Like, how many are there? And we kind of, I don't know if I'm inventing this in my head, but it looks like we got to look at the Hobie Brown Spider-Man. Am I making that up?
You mean at the very last scene?
No, we're looking at, I don't know. We're looking at, because I don't know if that's supposed to be Miles, because he has a different hairstyle than usual or something like that. I don't know.
I was confused too. I thought that was supposed to be Miles talking to Peter Parker.
I did too. I thought that was supposed to be
Mohawk. I'm making I'm making it up. No,
there was a proud
because the art style reminded me. I guess the animated style kind of made me think of
But did you like the trail? I thought it was kind of cool.
I'm kind of digging the animation style they're doing. I don't know how
animation was good.
I don't know how I feel about it with the mask off. It's kind of weird seeing Spider-Man characters with Disney eyes. That's kind of throwing me for a loop.
Yeah.
The music was good.
The music was really cool. It was a well done trailer. I'll need to see a little more before making a more executive decision. I'll end up seeing it anyway because I have MoviePass now, so there's literally nothing to lose for me going to see movies now.
It looks very Pixar-ish. And that's not a bad thing.
And it reminds me a lot. I know people were talking about this a lot when it came out. There was that I can't remember which movie it appeared before, but it was one of the Disney Pixar shorts, and it was the Paper Plane one where he had the guy who met the girl on the train, and he tries to communicate with her again by throwing a bunch of paper planes.
Oh, Paperman.
Yeah, that was a good one. That does sound like a Marvel villain.
And people were getting really excited talking about the possibility of kind of this hybrid between computer animation and hand-drawn animation. And it kind of makes me think of that. Something about it is really reminiscent.
Well, I mean,
so I don't know.
One of the things I did like about it, it does have a style to it. That's I think, especially if you watch it close enough, that there's portions where it shows Miles like leaping off that bus, and it cuts to, and you get a quick flash of an actual cell drawing of him.
Oh, I envisioned that was like a flash to a comic book. I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, so it does have its own unique style to it and everything like this. I mean, I think it's still way too soon to tell what the story is going to be, because it comes out in Christmas of this year, so it's
that's a wild
wow.
Are we talking about the Miles cartoon movie?
Yeah,
the one that's
I think Sony's in for a very rude awakening about how little interest there is in Venom and Silver Sable and Black Cat and Miles outside. Outside of the comics universe.
I don't know how this is. I'm not sure if this is going to necessarily be a big blockbuster hit type thing, because even if it does have the makers of the Lego movie behind it, because especially, I mean, I know George, you're triggered the fact that if Miles is wearing a hoodie in this.
Oh, I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna see the damn thing.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I'm not gonna see the Venom movie.
How are we gonna review it if you're not gonna be seeing it?
You can review it. I'm not going to waste money on that trash. Are you kidding me? Why would I go see a Venom?
You're not going to go see the Venom movie and the Black Cat movie and the Silver
Sable? If there was a Spider-Man in the Venom movie, sure. If it was Venom in a Spider-Man movie, yes, I'll see it because it's Spider-Man. But a Venom standalone movie, why the hell would I bother? Why the hell would I bother?
All right.
Shots fired. Yeah. Shots fired.
So you're not going to go see this Miles movie? You didn't like well, you don't like Miles, but...
No, why would I see a Miles movie? I have absolutely zero interest in the character. Why would I see that movie?
It's true.
Why?
If they do bring in 2099 since it's the Spider-Verse.
I would see 2099.
Well, it's a Spider-Verse.
I have an interest in
It's supposed to be Spider-Man Intro to the Spider-Verse.
That's not going to happen.
Which sounds like a college class for all these poor moviegoers.
I'm sorry, but in my head, this is the way I'm seeing it play out. That the Venom movie kind of underperforms, and then suddenly they're like, "Oh shit,"
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then, I mean, they just said that supposedly the Silver Sable Black Cat movie is going to start production in March, and they haven't even announced who the hell's in it.
Nope.
Yeah. All right, real quick, moving to another topic. The
personally contact me and tell me who are their candidates, Felicia Hardy, and I need to personally approve them.
That's true.
Okay,
that's true. The YouTube chat has asked if we're going to talk about the possible cancellation of the Spider-Man cartoon, and I'll tackle that one real quick. Some website who I've never heard of, so this is your source. So take it with a grain of salt. Tomb of the Cartoon Monkey Skeleton.co.uk. Okay, there's your source. They said that they have several contacts inside of animation studios, and they're saying that the Spider-Man cartoon is ending, along with the Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon and Avengers Assemble. Some of Marvel's
think of Steve Wacker.
Some of Marvel's animation shows are going on hiatus, and we're told crews are being laid off. Crew members say that much MA work will be completed in the next few months. What is MA work?
Marvel animation work.
Animation.
I got it.
Hiatus and cancellation are entirely two different
things.
Right.
Hiatus means that you're gonna take 6 months off. We'll come back in 6 months. We'll ramp up production. Like we were talking.
A lot of times, shit doesn't come back from hiatus.
True story.
So
now, I'm the only one that I think here that has seen the abomination of a cartoon that is Marvel's Spider-Man.
I've seen 2 episodes, and that's it. That's enough for me.
Screwball. Hornacek says Screwball is Liz Allen. Is that right?
Yes. Screwball is Liz Allen. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this whole this is
the same cartoon where Joe Quesada plays himself, right?
Plays the owner of Joe's, who's owns
Joe's Coffee.
Yeah, give me an effing break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing is a disaster. So if it is canceled, nobody is going to be surprised. The animation was
awful.
It was
the
terrible.
90s show, and Amazing Friends has better animation.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly right. The animation was poor. Say what you will about Ultimate, at least it was well animated.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, it was well animated. The storytelling was terrible. Yeah. Slott was a consulting producer. I don't know what. That is the most made up bullshit title I've ever heard in my life. Consulting producer. Anyway, translation, he was making some money. Cool. Yep. Great. Good on him. Capitalism. I'm all for it. You can make money, do it.
All right. I got a segue for what you just said.
Okay.
Speaking of making money, someone took Stan Lee's money. George, take me through that one.
Yeah, someone stole like $300,000.
It was more. It's been more released.
Oh, was there? The thing I read at first said it was only like
the follow-up TMZ article is the guy bought a condo for $850.
Yeah, dude bought a condo with Stan's cash. Stan's looking to beat some dude into the ground
on his birthday. This came out.
Yeah, and
our birthday. Let's get it right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zach. Yeah, your birthday too.
That is true. Yes.
And so Stan's walking around the streets like an angry pimp. Thinking, whose ass do I got a curb stomp out here as an example?
That'll be the next family.
Yeah.
But Stan's money got lifted so that someone could buy a condo with it.
Unbelievable.
And probably some weed. And so the last I heard, the cops are like continuing the investigation in it, I guess, to see what else is out there. And I think didn't they rip it off from like his charity?
Yeah, I think that was a front through that. And they wrote a check. Who
approves just a random $300,000 check without? I'm like,
there is a lot of. I got questions. I got some questions.
You got issues like back issues, baby.
Right.
My first question is I used to work in banking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The amount of steps you have to take to buy any type of property through a bank is pretty astronomical.
Yeah.
Second of all, this is not the first time Stan has lost a whole crap load of money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Stan Lee Productions, go look that up. That fiasco that occurred. So poor Stan.
That's what I'm saying. Stan's out there on the streets like, I'm about to keep my pimp pants strong.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I think that whoever did this is a spineless coward.
Awful.
Taking advantage of
a 95-year-old man.
Yeah. I mean, in my line of work, I had to take a course on elderly people and like how to approach them, what signs to look for if they're having signs of dementia or old, things like that. Because you can't take advantage of old people. That's criminal.
Yep.
And clearly that's what happened in this case. I hope that they recover the money. I hope that he can get sell the condo back to get his money back. But you just got to be careful. It's like these people. There's 2 people that just won the lottery this weekend that we're recording. You got to keep your friends close and your enemies closer because money does weird things to people.
Here, before we move on, I got to ask JR, if a large amount of cash is out of your bank account, what happens in your household?
Well, I asked my wife what she bought.
I knew that was happening.
That's pretty good.
What was it for? And see, I was about to say, Spidey Doug took this course in old people. I was wondering, do you want to try it out on me? Some of the things you learned or whatever. How do old people behave? Please.
We'll do this off air.
All right. That's leading up to JR's last topic of this show. What if Spider-Man had to commute? There's been a study.
What airport did you write this in, JR?
Wasn't there a comic that was supposed to explain all this called "Whence Cometh the Commuter" that kind of explained this?
No. This is money.
Yeah, I know. But
okay, take it home, JR. Wrap the show up with a chuckle.
Wrap the show up. Well, let's see here. I printed off this story, what if superheroes had to commute like the rest of us? And since you mentioned wrapping it up, I'm going to go up to the litter box upstairs where the cat is, and I'm going to take this story and reach down. And that is how I'm going to wrap this up. Because every once in a while there is a cute, well, first of all, here's the premise. And this is what I really like. There have been lots of studies on superheroes, but none about their travel, said Logan Freeman, a data scientist with World Strides creative teams. We wanted to dive deep and find out what would happen to these heroes if they lost their superpowers. They wouldn't be superheroes. There are cute things. There are cute stories about, like, how much would Peter Parker really make, or how much would web fluid really cost, or something. But this is like if Spider-Man took an Uber to all of his locations in Spider-Man Homecoming, how much would that cost?
Yeah, I think it's funny.
I know. It's like, no, I'm not getting why this is even a remotely cute story. I mean, it's like, or what if Clark Kent really had to fly all locations in Man of Steel or something? Or now this is the one that gets me on the Wonder Woman thing. I mean, I know that we fanboys, we spend a lot of time analyzing things that ultimately, in this grand scheme of things, don't amount to a hill of beans, but they try to calculate Wonder Woman's travel. Our methodology, as the island of Brad can pronounce it, is fictional. We took the liberty of placing it off the northern coast of Spain. We based this position on the likely flight path Steve Trevor would have taken leaving Turkey and avoiding flying over enemy territory compared to the short time it took them to get to England by boat. Sailboat rental is the lowest 1-week rental price available via globalsailor.com. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I wasted less time writing about the Hobgoblin than somebody did researching this.
Break the Spider-Man numbers down. How much is he spending on Uber?
What? That's stupid. It's a stupid story. Here we go. Spider-Man's Homecoming. What would Spidey have to pay Uber if he couldn't sling webs? Well, first of all, why would Spidey? I mean, he's got Tony Stark. Tony Stark could get he's Tony Stark's his sugar daddy. Tony could just fly him. Estimated miles traveled, 100 or 1,122. Estimated Uber fee mileage, 1964. Estimated Uber fee minutes, and then estimated Uber fee base cost. Wait a minute, there are 3 kinds of Uber fees. I've never taken an Uber.
I've done Uber.
I thought that was like another video channel or whatever, UberTube or something like that, But it's
JR takes a taxi, not an Uber.
Well, it's immaterial anyway, because when Spider-Man went to Homecoming, remember who drove him there?
The Vulture.
The Vulture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't have to take an Uber. The Vulture drove him.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did these people not see that crappy movie?
Yeah, so they deduct the cost from there. Yeah, exactly.
No. Brad's probably got the link somewhere. If you're really curious, and you got time to kill, and you don't have to scoop out the cat litter or something. Yeah, go.
I will give it to the YouTubers watching right now. There you go.
I mean, I couldn't even do. I mean, there was nothing to do with that. I couldn't even bring flowers into it, like Flower Spider-Man. There was no
Febreze angle here.
No,
Brad was grasping at straws.
There was no kid wearing a T-shirt with Spider-Man on it.
All right. On that lovely, oh Lordy, do you have props?
I have a more relevant Spider-Man T-shirt story right now.
Okay.
Nobody asked me if I got any spider-related stuff for Christmas.
Oh.
Yes, my kids got me a Spider-Man T-shirt.
Nice.
Okay, this is more relevant than most of the news stories on this show. So that I got a Spider-Man T-shirt. Okay, thank you.
Hey, wait, JR, hold that back up. Hold that back up. Hold that shirt back up.
It's the ASM2 logo.
No, hold the shirt back up. Okay. Hey, there's white. Hey, Ashley, can you see that?
It's a white spider.
Moving around really fast. That's the real test.
They got me another. They got me another cool one.
Did you get anything else?
There we go.
Oh, the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick before we wrap it up, what'd you get for Christmas?
You just saw
spider related. Zach is holding up
Mary Jane.
A Mary Jane figure.
I got the.
Oh yeah, that's what I want for Christmas is girl dolls.
Okay, I'm holding up stuff right now. Okay,
we won't ask why, JR.
Here is what I got. I got salt and pepper shakers. I think
nice.
These are really cute.
Like Ashley's like running.
Ashley just
Ashley's like, oh my gosh.
I got Spider-Man wood.
I did get something cool. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Y'all actually reminded me.
What'd you get?
Does Spider-Man wood have something in common with the Spider-Man condoms from the previous shows?
You guys can go bite me.
No.
Don't spend that 17 cents everywhere, Zach.
That's how much you think of
me. For like the very first gift exchange we did, virtual gift exchange, and my friend actually got them for me.
What? Oh,
those are salt and pepper shakers.
The salt and pepper shaker magnet thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look how terrible the paint is.
Did I get you that one year as a present?
The one that was supposed. That was the one I gave her for the virtual gift.
That's what she was saying.
They're magnetic. They stick together.
Yep.
Somebody got you that as a virtual gift.
Yeah, that was me. That was me.
Was that? Oh, that was McNulty. Okay.
Yep.
So I now actually have the real life thing.
Very nice.
So,
Zach, hold up your condoms.
God. All right. So
this face.
His face is a condom. Okay.
Oh.
Your resolution.
Worst job ever.
Bleep you to hell, George.
That face alone is prevention enough.
Of the two in this room, I think I win.
Who's been what?
Who is procreated and who hasn't procreated? I think I won.
So because I wrap it before I tap it, as JR says, I'm the loser.
With the amount of cuteness that I have in my
done.
yes.
I almost killed JR, dude.
Hey, for the record,
My old people's heart can't take this. I got
for the record, for Christmas when I had her, we were at Walmart. I was getting some wrapping paper for some last minute stuff. There was some Spider-Man.
I don't like where this is going.
There was some Spider-Man.
Just keep stepping in the
There
back.
was
You
some-
should keep
Did you
going
knock
into it.
somebody else out?
No. There was some
JR's done.
Spider-Man.
I've killed JR.
There was some Spider-Man wrapping paper. So I walked up to the wrapping paper. I said, "Hey, Gabby, who's this?" And she goes, "Spider-Man." I went, "I have not failed as a father." Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Good job.
not
Good
yet,
job.
anyway.
Not yet.
All right.
Hey!
JR and I just died. JR and I
You
just
got
died.
another 18 to 21 years there, bud, before that jury's out.
Oh.
So my family has given up giving me anything Spider-Man related because there's so much shit that triggers me now. And you laugh. It's actually true. I mean, like they don't know what to get me anymore. Like they're scared to get me something that has Ultimate on it. You know, like what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and I'm like, here, let me make a flow chart. So for the most part, they just sort of stay away now.
Ashley, all right?
I'm hanging in.
I'm like,
Ashley was choking.
Go ahead. Having a heart attack and Ashley's choking. This is
We all
Spider-Man
died.
But a friend,
911.
a friend of mine actually did give me something cool. It's not Spider-Man related, but it's awesome.
What is it?
It is a Conan the Barbarian Funko,
Ooh, nice.
Oh.
and
Ooh,
here's
Arnold
the
one?
thing: it's an exclusive, and he's splattered in blood.
Ooh, nice.
Oh.
Nice.
Crumb laughs at your foe wins.
Which
I'm not-
version of Conan?
It's
Oh,
Conan.
Schwarzenegger.
It's the movie.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, it's the Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger. The
And
only
he's
real.
covered in blood, and
That's awesome.
he's got the
Yeah.
necklace. You know the two snakes.
The two
You know,
snakes.
yeah,
That
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like
This
Tyler
thing's awesome.
Hitch's Conan.
Yes.
All right. On that note, I
I'll
think
take
that's a wrap on the show. We need medical attention before we do any more work.
More options.
All right, YouTubers, we'll be back in 10 minutes to record your message board Q&A, and then we'll wrap this thing up for the month.
Okay. Yep.
All right, everybody.